So today we're going to take a look at my favorite two-point play out of Gun Trip's tight end, and it is PA slot corner. So to set it up, in this case, we're going to block R1, and we're going to smoke screen square. Square is going to pull down some zones just to help with circle getting open, and if circle's covered, then we can throw underneath to square. Now you can also put R1 on an option route, or put them on a table route just to maximize the strength of this play. But in a lot of cases you will need to block. Also, using other plays with drags and hitches and things like that are really going to accelerate your chances of completing this two-point play, because really what we're going to do here is monopolize the back of the end zone. Anytime you get in the red zone, your opponent is going to play underneath coverage, specifically in a two-point play scenario, and that's exactly what we have here. Now, out of tight offset tight end, which is what I showed in the last video, the play Y out is also very good. The reason is because it's got a post, it's got a corner route, and then another corner route. However, in Trip's tight end, I really like it just because of the separation that we have between the routes, and I do just think that it is overall a better play. Plus, there's so many things that you can do out of the formation Trip's tight end. So the whole idea behind this two-point play and the whole concept is that when you have other routes like in routes or curl routes or hitches, when they get in the end zone, a lot of the times they become completely unpredictable. They will run to the left or the right or back to the quarterback after you throw the ball, and that is not something we want. So we're going to take advantage of the philosophy here that we know that in a two-point play scenario, all three of these routes are going to do exactly what we expect them to. They're going to get to the back of the end zone, and when they do, they're going to run straight across the back of the end zone in the direction they're going. So circle's going to run all the way to the left. Triangle's going to get right over the middle, and then he's going to run straight across. And he'll run all the way across to the right pylon. He will not stop. And again, the tight end is going to do the same thing to the right. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, they all run directly across, and that's monopolizing the back of the end zone. When they are playing underneath coverage, this is just going to be completely dangerous. Just take a look at all the routes: circle, triangle, and X. The separation between these routes is absolutely fantastic, and it just takes advantage of every area of the field. Circle was covered, so we threw to triangle. Now X is not covered in this instance, but we were still able to get the pass off the triangle. Now, you are going to have to be wary of that user underneath. That's why sometimes it's good to block R1, and then sometimes it's good to put them on a table route or a little option route underneath. The other thing is high pointing passes in the back of the end zone. This is where it really becomes a viable option. Now, I don't recommend high pointing passes to really small receivers, but as you saw right there with Godwin, I was able to high point pass that, and he caught it in the back of the end zone. Again, high point pass, and he caught it in the back of the end zone. Now that's Godwin. However, a guy like Scotty Miller, it's not necessarily the greatest idea. The other thing is, if you try and high point, sometimes it'll be inaccurate like that, so you can kind of get screwed. Then we try to high point to Scotty Miller, and as you can see, the ball gets picked off. So when a guy is covered, high point passing is really a great option. But when you throw it to a guy like Scotty Miller, who's very short, those guys underneath are going to intercept the ball. And so that doesn't really make it a very good option. So you do have to be careful and understand when you can throw the high point and when you can't. As you can see right there, we throw a high point to Godwin, and he's able to get his feet in. Also, sometimes the route can make a difference. Like if you try and high point to the back of the end zone over the middle to a taller guy, like a decent sized guy like Godwin, you'll have pretty good success. If you try to do it to Scotty Miller when he's covered and he's running to the left, you're not really going to have the best success. So this is my favorite 2-point play in the game. There's a scenario where the defender is flat-footed. We throw that high point and we're able to get a really nice animation and come down with it. But again, I certainly do not recommend high point passing to Scotty Miller in any scenario. I would not do it. But as you know, Gronk is an absolute animal, and he's a guy that we can high point pass to all day long. They're never going to pick it. You're going to have to mix this up. You can't just go to PA slot corner every single time, just like anything. But when you do, go to Gronk, especially on a corner, not a corner route, but on a outside route. And here's putting R1. As you can see, it pulls down zones, and we're able to get that to Gronk with a high point pass or not.